Hey everyone, Harris O'Malley from DrNerdLove.com. Today, I want to start things off by telling you a story. This is something that my good friend Bert, he's an actor working out in Hollywood, who told me it's this likely apocryphal but really awesome story about casting a particular role in the movie Dangerous Liaisons. The studio was having a difficult time casting the role of Le Chevalier Raphael Dansonnet. I probably just slaughtered the pronunciation of that. Not the main character, but a fairly important one to the narrative. One of the first actors they brought in to audition for the role was Keanu Reeves. Now he goes in and he is 80s Keanu Reeves as f***. His reading is flat, he has this 80s California surfer bro accent. It just doesn't work for the role. But he says, hey, give me another chance, I know I can nail it. So they let him come back, and he's just as bad this time as he was the last time. Time goes by, and the studio still hasn't found the right actor for the role. So the casting director holds up Keanu's headshot and says, hey, how about him? Everybody says, oh God, no, he's totally wrong for the role. But you know what? Sure, we'll give him another try. And once again, he is awful, and they send him away. Time goes by, they still haven't filled the role, and the casting director pulls his headshot up again and says, hey, let's try him one more time. Everyone says, no, no way, no, you've lost your goddamn monkey mind. But you know what? Fine, we still don't have anyone, so they bring him in for yet another audition, and lo and behold, surprise, surprise, this time, he's just as bad as he was the first 3 times. As he leaves, the casting director looks over at the producers and says, so, what do y'all think? And the producers give him that look, you know the one. And they say, are you crazy? He's god-awful, he's wrong for the part, the material is just beyond him. And the casting director says, yes, but you were willing to see him 4 times. And so, Keanu got the part. Now, I really like this story because it gets at something that we get wrong about charisma and charm and personal magnetism. We think that getting people to like us is about being the biggest, shiniest object in the room, but what it really comes down to is having that je ne sais quoi, that factor that people may not be able to put their finger on, but it means that they can't stop thinking about you. But what's amazing about this is that it's not about your looks. We've all known people who can be as hot as a 4-alarm fire, but have all the personality of a brick, and not even a particularly clever brick. A brick that got held back in grade school 4 times because it was too busy eating paste to actually pay attention in class. Meanwhile, Serge Gainsbourg looked like his mom spent a little too much time in Innsmouth, but got more strange ass than a dude in a mutant donkey auction with a stolen credit card. Nor, for that matter, is it about being the most impressive person in the room. Because, let's face it, Jeff Bezos may be the closest thing we have to a modern-day pharaoh, but he isn't exactly proving to be the last of the red hot lovers. I mean, come on, we've seen his sexting, and when your nickname for someone is Alive Girl, you don't sound like a charisma factory so much as a lich who's trying to bring someone back to see his phylactery, if you know what I mean. No, instead, it's about presence and personality. It's about connection and the way that you make people feel around you. And once you understand the way that these various traits, beliefs, and behaviors come together, then you'll be the one that people won't be able to stop thinking about. Now, the first step to achieving this level of magnetism is to focus on your presentation. Now, before you start rewinding back to the part where I said it's not about looks, it's not about your looks, I want you to notice very carefully that I said presentation. Presentation isn't about your jawline or your facial symmetry. It's about the way that you present yourself to the world. Your presentation, the way that you dress, the way that you handle your grooming, is the way that you describe yourself to all and sundry. The way that you present yourself is the foundation for your first impression with people, and since first impressions are hard to shake, you want to make sure that you're giving the right one. So, to start with, you want clothes that fit properly and match your archetype. You want to make sure you have a good haircut. If you've got facial hair, you want to keep it neat, tidy, and trimmed. And you wouldn't think that this needs to be said, but evidently it does. You want to make sure that you smell good. This is more important than you'd think. These all tell other people important facts about you. The clothes that you wear are an outward expression of not just who you are as a person, but an indicator of how you feel about yourself. It sets people's expectations. When you're dressed well, then you're telling the world, hey, you're someone who's worth getting to know. On the other hand, if you're wearing a ratty shirt and stained, smelly jeans, then you're signaling to the world that you don't give a damn, so why in pluperfect hell should they? Do not get me wrong, this does not mean that you always need to be rocking the three-piece suit or dressed to the nine at all times. Though it really couldn't hurt. You can be well dressed with a t-shirt and jeans as long as they're clean, pressed, and fit properly. Even if your look is well-heeled Metallica roadie, it can still look sharp if you know what you're doing. And I've got an entire episode on developing your style, so go check it out. I've linked to it in the show notes. Incidentally, you don't want to restrict your dressing up sharp to the times when you're going out on the town. You want this to be a part of your everyday life. The more natural that it feels to you, the more effortless and thus more interesting it'll appear to everyone else. But your presentation is more than just your clothes or your hair. It's also how you use your body. I know, it sounds weird, but your body language directly influences how people feel about you. And it can make the difference between someone who is compelling and charismatic and someone that people want to avoid. Your body language, from the way that you walk, to the way that you sit, even the way that you hold yourself when you're standing still conveys meaning, and it sends a message to people. And it can have even more impact than your actual words. In fact, if your body language is in conflict with what you're trying to say to people, it can actually make folks really uncomfortable. You want to make sure that you are sending a message that says that you are confident, warm, approachable, and welcoming, rather than scared or insecure or hostile or aloof. Now, the way that you do this is by using open, welcoming body language, positioning yourself in ways that demonstrate confidence, vulnerability, and friendliness. You start by being willing to take up space. Not spreading out like you're airing out your balls or like you've claimed the entire couch in the name of Spain, but just showing that you're unafraid to exist. You want to expand, not contract. Folding in on yourself tells people that you're trying to avoid being noticed, or that you're afraid to occupy space because you feel like you don't have the right to be there. Next, focus on open, welcoming body language by opening and exposing your core. Our core is where we keep all of our important bits, and it's a little squishy. When we open our core and orient it towards the people that we're talking to, we're showing that we are confident that they're not gonna hurt us. But we're also inviting them to open up to us as well. We want to be real with them, and we want them to do the same for us. It creates a bond because we are both choosing to let down our defenses and let the other person in. Now, this doesn't work if you're putting up other obstacles between the two of you. This means that you need to avoid putting barriers between you and the person or people you're talking to. Standing with your arms crossed or holding something like a book or a drink across your body creates the sense of being closed off or defensive. You're holding it like a shield. So you want to keep your arms loose and down by your sides. Similarly, having a physical object like an open laptop or a tablet between you and the person you're talking to creates the feeling of a blockage or a wall between you. It creates an obstruction and it gets in the way of connecting. Also, making natural gestures with open palms when you talk conveys trustworthiness. It shows that you're not hiding anything. And while you're at it, you need to be sure to be giving a warm, welcoming smile. A smile that actually reaches your eyes. It encourages people to feel welcome and relaxed around you. And part of the reason why resting bitch face, or a low monotone voice with no emotional affect, is uncomfortable is because it conveys a sense of, I don't give a shit about you. And that's the literal opposite of the message you want to send. Part of what can help make it easier to adopt welcoming body language and a warm smile is to simply assume that you're friends already, even if you've only just met them. Think about the way that you relate to your friends versus how you relate to strangers. You're far more relaxed and at ease, ready to just hang out instead of feeling this need to impress them. This simple change in how you think about people changes how you behave around them. It's a very small thing, but it makes those shifts in body language natural, even almost instinctual. But getting rid of that need to impress is key. Have you ever wondered why some people, even good-looking, outgoing folks, struggle to talk to anyone, while other folks, people who you would be forgiven for thinking that they're kicking outside their coverage, seem to have babes hanging on their every word? A big part of it is because they can talk to even the hottest of the hot like it's no big deal. Not like they're superior or that the other people need their approval, just that this hot person, this celebrity, whatever, isn't any different than anyone else. Part of what makes someone compelling and charismatic is that they're comfortable in their own skin. They're at ease with everyone. Even folks that you might think are more important, have higher social status, or that you should otherwise be trying to get in on their good side. It's that effortless ease that draws people in. They don't have anything to prove, so they're able to focus on just connecting. The more that you can learn to be at ease at talking with people, not worrying about trying to say the perfect thing or make the perfect joke, but just being in the moment with them, the more that you will find those moments of connection come naturally and easily. Another key difference between magnetic people and everyone else is magnetic people have presence. They make people feel like they're the most fascinating person in the world. And the way that they do that is by giving people their full attention. They create a memorable connection by showing that there isn't anything that they would rather do than listen to what that person has to say. Now, this starts by being an active listener, asking them meaningful questions about what they've been telling you, and nodding and showing that you're engaged. You want to lean in when they talk, especially when they're talking about something important or personal to them. This way, you're showing them that you're invested in what they have to say. It also means that you don't let yourself get distracted, not by the people around you, not by looking around the room, and not by checking your smartphone. Seriously, I know it's hard. I'm awful about this. Movement at the corner of my vision always catches my attention, and I am stupid addicted to my phone. But when you do these things, you're sending the message that you couldn't care less about what they have to say. And I know this is hard for some of you, but you need to be good at giving strong, confident eye contact. Eye contact makes you seem friendlier and more appealing, and it really increases the sense of importance and intimacy in your interactions with people. Now, strong eye contact doesn't mean just staring at them unblinkingly. It's closer to making eye contact for the count of 4 before breaking contact to just look to the side and look back. Not up, that looks like you're rolling your eyes. Not down, that's a sign of submission. Just to the side. Now, if you do have a hard time making eye contact, you can fake it. Kind of. By looking at their eyebrow instead. It's not foolproof, and some people may wonder if they've got something on their face, but it'll work in most situations. Now, another thing that you need for being magnetic is intensity. Not in that twitchy, yeah, let's go swim to Tahiti, let's break with our faces kind of way, but conviction and self-assuredness rather than vacillating or being wishy-washy. You need to be unafraid to be your authentic self. Something that is shockingly rare these days, especially when it involves people that we're attracted to. One of the issues that comes up fairly often is how many people feel like they need to hide who they are and what they like from the people that they're interested in. Now, sometimes it's because they feel like their interests or their passions just aren't cool enough or aren't mainstream enough. Other times it's because they don't want to risk having a completely contrary opinion or not liking something that other folks like because that would make them not like us for reasons. You need to have the confidence and the strength of your convictions, even if it's something that you disagree with people over. Part of what makes somebody magnetic is their simple willingness to own how they feel, to express themselves openly and unapologetically without embarrassment or shame. Now, there is a difference between intensity or being authentic and having no filter or just being a shitty edgelord who thinks I don't care who I offend is a substitute for actually having a personality. Intensity and authenticity isn't a pass for giving up on your social calibration. If someone has a different opinion than you or just doesn't dig your favorite book or hobby, TV show or whatever, or for that matter, you don't dig theirs, then hey, cool, you can move on to a different topic. Or even better, try to find points of commonality between the thing that you like and the thing that they like. Similarly, telling somebody that you jerked it to their YouTube videos or to their cosplay photos isn't being authentic, it's being an asshole. On the other hand, hey, I really enjoy spending time with you and I'd love to take you out on a date is. For that matter, so is I think you're a really cool person and sometimes I get nervous around you, so I apologize if I come off as awkward occasionally. Don't worry about being cool or being funny. Just be in the moment and be real with them in a way that most people don't have the courage to be. But let's talk about the one big thing that makes some people magnetic and other people meh. Warmth and positive connections. Too many people think that being cool or charismatic means being reserved, aloof, even a little disdainful. They look at characters they admire like Rick Sanchez, Sherlock, Tony Stark, characters who are quick with the snark or the devastating put down and think that is what it means to be cool. Except for one problem. They're assholes. Even in the context of their own universes, nobody likes them. Sarcasm, clever put-downs, negs, these all alienate people and drive them away. Most people can't pull it off as well as they think they can, but honestly, even if you do get the savage dunk on someone, most of the people around you are not going to think you're cool. They're going to think you're kind of a dick. It's fun to watch on shows or movies. It's way less fun to experience in real life. In reality, we like people who are positive, who spread the love and make us feel good about ourselves. The sort of person who builds people up and makes them feel special, not the sort of person that we realize is going to turn around and dunk on us. So how do you do this? Well, you be the guy who validates people and lets them know they're awesome. This does not mean that you blow smoke up their ass and tell them about how they're a god among men. You're trying to make them feel good, not brown nose them. But giving them sincere compliments, telling them that the thing they did was cool, or that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that. Laughing at their jokes. These are all ways that you can signal to somebody that you think they're great. And here's a secret. If you want to really deliver the compliment or the insight that is going to make somebody's day, especially if you want to connect with someone who is just stupid hot, compliment them on their accomplishments. Paying someone a compliment on something they worked towards, something they had an active hand in, is gonna land better and more effectively than anything about their looks. What have they done that's awesome? Have they been studying guitar? That's great. Did they just land some major achievement at work? Great! Drop a video on YouTube, finish their latest costume for their cosplay, achieve some personal milestone? These are all things that make amazing compliments because they're all things that have meaning for them. And a compliment on those things will make them feel much better than a generic, oh, you're so hot, or man, you're awesome. How awesome are you? But keep in mind, these all work together and they build on top of one another. They intertwine to send a message to people about you and the kind of person you are. Someone who's confident and interesting, warm and utterly unforgettable. Focus on sending that message and people will be unable to stop thinking about you instead of the other guy. Hey, thanks for checking out my latest video. So you've heard from me, now I want to hear from you. What is the absolute best compliment that someone has ever given you, and why was it so good? Share your favorite compliment in the comments below. Maybe you'll inspire someone else to give an amazing compliment too. If you've got a short dating question that you'd like to have featured in a future episode, then you can call it in to 512-522-6513 and leave a voicemail. Or you can record it on your end and send it to doc@drnerdlove.com for YouTube in the subject header. And since we're talking about leveling up your charisma, if you want a head start on grinding out those social skills and taking a level in sexy badass, then check out my book, New Game Plus, A Geek's Guide to Love, Sex, and Dating. This is the A to Z instruction manual that takes the mystery out of how to get good at dating and teaches you everything you've wanted to know about your inner player that you were afraid to ask. Links to buy it are in the show notes, so go check it out. And if you do check it out, or any of my other books for that matter, do me a huge favor and be sure to review it on Amazon and Goodreads. It's a huge, huge help. If you're digging the series, well, you already know what to do. Hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell to get the notifications when a new one goes up, yada yada yakety schmackety. But if you are really enjoying these videos, if you feel like you're getting a lot out of it, you're finding that it's helping, and you want to support the channel and in the process help fund some awesome new projects, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/drnerdlove. Even $1 is a huge help, but at $3 a month or more, you get access to some excellent patron-only content. Meanwhile, you can follow me on Twitter at @drnerdlove. Join the Facebook page to keep up with all the latest news at facebook.com/drnerdlove. And as always, hit that logo to subscribe, check out my other videos, and I will see you here next time with more about love, sex, and dating. Later.